Grady Demond Wilson, born on October 13, 1946, and passing peacefully on January 30, 2026, lived a life shaped by purpose, perseverance, and deep faith. To millions, he will always be Lamont Sanford, the calm and principled son from the iconic sitcom Sanford and Son. Yet defining Wilson by one role alone overlooks the depth of a life lived with intention. He was not only an actor, but also a soldier, author, minister, and devoted family man, whose journey blended public success with private reflection. Though his career earned him financial stability and recognition, his true wealth came from the values he carried and shared. Wilson believed that laughter could coexist with seriousness, and that faith could guide a life even through fame. His story reminds us that lasting impact is not measured by applause, but by the character one leaves behind. From Southern roots to city-born dreams, Wilson was born in Valdosta, Georgia, but his future took shape after his family relocated to New York City during his childhood. The city's vibrant cultural energy awakened his artistic instincts early. By the age of 4, he had already appeared on a Broadway stage, an extraordinary beginning that hinted at his natural connection to performance. Dance became his first language of expression, and he trained in tap and ballet with discipline far beyond his years. At 12, he performed at Harlem's Apollo Theater, a milestone that placed him within a powerful tradition of Black artistry and excellence. Those early experiences did more than build skill, they built confidence and identity. Even as a child, Wilson understood that storytelling mattered, and that the stage could be a place not just for entertainment, but for meaning. Faith formed early and tested young faith was woven deeply into Wilson's upbringing and personal identity. Raised Catholic, he served as an altar boy and briefly considered a religious vocation during his youth. Summers spent with his Pentecostal grandmother introduced him to a different expression of belief, one rooted in emotion, testimony, and lived experience. At the age of 13, his life took a dramatic turn when his appendix ruptured, nearly costing him his life. The experience left him shaken, but spiritually awakened. In that fragile moment, Wilson made a quiet promise to God, vowing to serve in some meaningful way if his life was spared. Though his path would later lead him through fame and entertainment, that vow remained with him, resurfacing years later when he sought purpose beyond professional success. Service, sacrifice, and inner strength. Between 1966 and 1968, Wilson served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War, an experience that profoundly shaped him. As part of the 4th Infantry Division, he faced conditions that tested his resilience both physically and emotionally. He returned home carrying not only visible wounds, but also the invisible weight shared by many veterans of that era. Rather than allowing those experiences to define him negatively, Wilson turned to art as a form of healing. Performance became a way to process pain, memory, and survival. In the late 1960s, he returned to the stage, appearing in Broadway and off-Broadway productions where storytelling allowed him to reclaim his voice. Those years reinforced his quiet strength and prepared him for the opportunities that would soon follow in television. Steady steps toward the spotlight. Wilson's transition from stage to screen came through patience rather than instant stardom. He began appearing in guest roles on popular television series such as Mission, Impossible, and All in the Family, where his calm presence left a lasting impression even in limited screen time. Early film roles further sharpened his craft, offering experience without overwhelming expectations. These projects allowed Wilson to develop the grounded, thoughtful style that would later define his most famous character. Behind the scenes, he remained focused and disciplined, viewing acting not as celebrity, but as responsibility. Each role, no matter how small, was treated as preparation. That steady approach positioned him perfectly for the role that would soon change his life and secure his place in television history, becoming Lamont Sanford and television history. In 1972, Wilson was cast as Lamont Sanford on Sanford and Son, a role that would define a generation of television comedy. As the patient and principal son to Red Fox's loud and unpredictable Fred Sanford, Wilson became the emotional anchor of the series. His chemistry with Fox created a balance that blended sharp humor with genuine warmth. Lamont was the voice of reason, dignity, and restraint, qualities that resonated deeply with audiences. The show became one of the highest-rated programs of its time, bringing Wilson into millions of homes each week. Yet despite the success, he approached the role with humility, understanding that its power came not from exaggeration, but from authenticity. Lamont Sanford felt real, and that realism made the laughter last. Professional challenges and personal grace. During the show's run, Wilson faced unexpected challenges that tested his professionalism and emotional strength. When Red Fox briefly departed the series due to contractual disputes, Wilson carried the weight of the show with grace and responsibility. Though the situation caused personal disappointment, he chose understanding over resentment. He later reflected that the greatest hurt came not from the disruption itself, but from the lack of direct communication. Even so, he held on to respect and forgiveness, recognizing the bond they shared on screen and off. That decision reflected Wilson's character, a man who valued dignity over conflict. When Fox returned, the show regained its rhythm, and their connection remained evident. The experience reinforced Wilson's belief that integrity matters more than recognition. Reinvention through writing and ministry. After Sanford and Son concluded in 1977, Wilson continued acting while gradually shifting toward a more reflective path. He appeared in additional television series and films, but his focus began to expand beyond performance. Writing became a new outlet, allowing him to articulate his beliefs and experiences. Deeply grounded in his Christian faith, he authored several books exploring spirituality and personal growth. His memoir offered an honest reflection on his career, acknowledging both gratitude and struggle. In 1984, he fulfilled the promise made in his youth by becoming an ordained minister. Ministry became central to his identity, guiding his work in faith-based theater, television, and community outreach. This chapter of his life was not a retreat, but a reinvention rooted in service, a peaceful passing and an enduring legacy. Grady Demond Wilson passed away at the age of 79 at his home in Palm Springs, surrounded by peace rather than spectacle. His passing marked the close of a life that balanced public success with private conviction. He is remembered not only for the laughter he brought into homes, but for the humility and faith with which he lived. Wilson showed that it is possible to step away from the spotlight without losing purpose, and to redefine success on one's own terms. His legacy lives on through timeless television, meaningful writing, and the lives he touched through ministry and family. Though the screen has gone dark, the values he embodied continue to resonate. His life stands as a reminder that true influence endures long after applause fades.